All right, we are live. Chocolate Crown in the building on a Sunday evening.
What's happening, Chocolate Crown, Kings and Queens? What's up? What's up, IG? What's up, Facebook?
YouTube.
Um, YouTube, episode 23. Glad to be here with you on Sunday evening. First, like to always start out with, how are you?
I am breathing on schedule. That's how I feel. I am breathing on schedule.
Well, that means you here. That means you're up and you're fighting a good fight. So,
Right.
we're gonna try to have a conversation with the kings and queens out there. See, check in with us.
Well, how are you? You got to say how you doing too. Especially since your viewers are alive and kicking up in this conversation.
Since who?
Your viewers are live and kicking up in this conversation. I know you can't see what I see.
Yeah, I don't. But I'm well.
Okay.
It would be even better if I hit that $1 billion fireball.
What did you
in
play?
Michigan did.
You gotta play to win. Did you play?
You gotta play to win, man. And I didn't even play.
Just like the workforce development thing we did. You gotta show up to be a leader or a boss. Like, come on, you gotta
show up, man. And so, I was gonna go to Michigan and play the lotto too.
You was gonna go all the way to Michigan, or you was gonna call your peeps in Michigan and be like, grab me a ticket.
I was gonna go.
Okay.
I know Luch is from Michigan. He would have kept the whole billion.
You gotta know your people. You gotta know your people.
Man. Yeah, we here. Thankful that we do have this platform, hoping everybody checks in and keep supporting, because it's been kind of dope, having these conversations on Sunday nights.
Yeah, people say it sets off their week, that we give them energy and vibration and set off their week. So I know I said I'm breathing on schedule, but I'm gonna be hype. I'm here. I'm present.
Listen, sometimes, and this is info we could pass on to younger people, sometimes you gotta fake it until it kick in.
Right,
sometimes you gotta lie to yourself, like, I really want to be here when I'm really tired, or I'm a million other things going on, but you gotta do it, so I know everybody's appreciative that you're here and ready to help share some of the knowledge that you got in that brain. So
in my brain. Yeah. So I want to know how people are doing, or if you got a current event or something that you were planning to just chat about as we check in and allow people to jump in the room with us.
No doubt. Like, I guess it has been it's been a different week. They had the transition of power in the White House.
Mm-hmm.
My man Bernie is the best meme in years.
The community got mad love for Bernie.
Bernie is everywhere. I just was telling you, Bernie was in the hood in North Philly. Bernie he been a little bit of everywhere. So amongst all the craziness, is good that people can find something to laugh and smile about. I don't know how true it was, but I heard he put that meme on some T-shirts and was selling it and then donated money. So if Bernie did that, that's dope.
Yeah, because he sold it for 45. Imagine that. 45 coins.
That's funny.
Yes, that's very funny.
That's fun. Listen, white folks are very sarcastic. I love my white friends, man. They are very sarcastic with the jokes and the comedy. So I can see Bernie selling it for 45.
What's up, M Blush? Thank you for hanging out with us, because I know it's almost late for you, but thank you for joining us. Definitely.
Appreciate you, Queen. Appreciate you checking in with us. If you have any comments, any questions, any topics, please go ahead and put them in the comments. Miss April, what's up, Queen?
We were trying to figure out what's in that pot you got going on, Miss April.
What's in that pot, Miss April? I had my mouth watering right before we came on. I mean, onions, carrots, it was all kind of seasonings. I seen it.
She was showing her skills.
Yeah, it's been a transition of power, and the people who voted for the president and the vice president. I know they're pretty happy. You could tell by the memes and everything, and more than anything, it's like with Obama, it has to like light a fire. It has to strike something in you, because a lot of these people are figureheads, and some of the issues at our core that we may deal with, they may not get to. They may not feel as it's important to them as it is to you.
Right.
So what I would say is use it as a fire starter, man. Use it as a way to jump up off the couch and go, move this culture forward. Because obviously they can't do it on their own. Obviously, and I shouldn't even say obviously.
We've experienced that they need support.
Yes, and if we put them in place,
and we have to follow through with the accountability of making sure that they know our needs for one.
Yes.
And that once they know what our true needs are, being able to hold them accountable to making sure that our goals are met.
And that's one thing that we have to start doing is have a plan of what we want and then hold their feet to the fire. You know what I'm saying? Without a lack of better terms, just to get what we want done.
Right.
Because they may have an agenda.
Hey, Killer Day, Philly. Hey, Mama Joe, Queen Lean, Mama Joe.
What's up, Mama Joe? So I think, and some of my notes was, if everybody else has an agenda, I think we should have one as well, because it seems like we just keep being used up and used up and used up. So we got to get something out of it. So when we do vote for these people, when we do put them in office, let's start making demands and making sure that they following through on these demands, because there is billion-dollar companies behind the vice president and the president, and those people have agendas and things they want done. So we got to make sure we get the same in return.
Right. So we get an invitation to Queen April's once the pandemic is over. So I guess we'll see you in 2022. January 2022 is when we will see you, because that's when the pandemic will appear to be over. And then M Blush is rocking out. She wanted to know what our topic was. So I did flash that up there. What's your agenda? What's your narrative in the community of the conversation? But she also shared a recommendation for the community, that Octavia Butler's Parable of the Sower. She's saying, yo, we need to get that book. She's not a publicist, but she's discovering that Ms. Butler has some truth and love in the words that she's saying. So thank you, M. Blush, for that.
Listen, you schooling us. We love to be schooled on a book, man.
Especially a book, yeah.
So yeah, if you want to give us some info, man, we're gonna go find out what it's about, and maybe we can have you on in the future to and Miss April. It's something called social distance and eat oxtails.
Yeah, she's saying we
But
gotta stay stabilized or stay mobilized. Definitely. We can't get lazy. We can't get comfortable because in order to make sure that our voice is heard, we need to be clear on what our agenda is, and are we directing it, or are we allowing and society to pour into what they feel is important to us and just complying and laying there and letting it happen. We've seen what laying there and letting it
this is
happen
why
does.
nothing. Just laying there and letting it happen.
Right,
Nothing.
right.
But this is what I mean by we joke about when I say no oath Fletch in shows in the past. But when you are connected to all these different organizations, communities, whatever it is we all connected to, everybody doesn't have the same agenda.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So when you have your own personal agenda and your own personal narrative that you're trying to write, then you can align it with other organizations that fit what you're trying to do for you as well. Instead of just following what somebody else is trying to do, following somebody else's narrative, following somebody else's journey. When it may not
you gotta look at,
ultimately be what you want to do. No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you finish your sentence. You ultimately want people to be what they want to be, like, because it'll probably tie into what I'm saying.
Yeah, like we're just connected with some. I mean, you got people who are in church, who are in sororities, fraternities, this organization, that organization, the black man, the black woman, this, the 1,000 people, this, and you being pulled so many different ways. You left nothing for yourself. You left nothing for you to write your own narrative and tell your story and be on your own journey because you jumped on everybody else's journey. And I think from my point of view, you know, the reason why we talked about this topic is because, like, now it's the beginning of the year, it's a new president, it's new leadership. And I think that we should be the same way. Like, let's start grabbing and doing for you, for us. Write your own narrative, your own story. We follow so many people. I just watch millions of people follow Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. Like, you really knew these people. And most of us don't know them from at all.
But you know, that's a part of the downloading of media, is that they force feed certain agendas in. And so because it's in every aspect that we turn in regards to like trying to learn something, that we begin to believe that that's the way or that's the truth. And so it's like if we begin to shift the focus and understanding our part to the puzzle, you know, if you do a 25-piece puzzle or 1,000-piece puzzle, that puzzle piece only fits in their niche and in their space. And it's like, okay, know your contribution to the larger conversation and make sure that you do that well, and just trust that the other people in their piece of the puzzle is going to do that, and just have a metaphor or a panel or a collective where all of this information is reviewed however often, and that you stay in alignment. Oftentimes, like the types of organizations that you just described, we think that they're in alignment, but then when you get on the inside and you go through whatever the rites of passage is for getting on the membership side of things, then you begin to learn that you may lose a sense of yourself, and what you intended to do is not the focus truly of that organization, although it was on the cover. It was the cover story.
Yeah, listen, that's how I go with a lot of things when we start to dig in and get in the middle of it. We like, hold on. This is not what it's supposed to be. But a lot of times, just like the word April put up, we get in the middle of it and we just accept it, even though we know it's wrong. Even though we know it don't feel right, even though it doesn't align with your agenda. And because we don't want to rub people the wrong way, we don't want to make enemies. We accept a lot of BS, man, instead of really pointing at it and saying that, this is wrong. This is not
Mm-hmm.
what I've signed up for. Obviously, you misled me about what your intentions are, but we
Mm-hmm.
just sit there and say, okay, that's okay, or I'll be a part of it, but I just won't come as much. So there's different things that go on that when we in the middle of it, we can't be friendly if something's wrong, especially if
Right.
we trying to move our people and our culture and our community forward. When we see something wrong, we got to address it. And you don't have to address it in a way where you just slapping somebody, but you can address it where they understand you, you get your point across, they know you serious.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of us, like April put up there, Miss April, Queen April, we just get in it and we're okay, we're comfortable, we're complacent.
We become the get along crew as opposed to standing in our voice and knowing, like the echo is serious, and knowing that what it is that we have, it may be unapologetically unique. And when people don't receive that uniqueness about what it is that we bring to the situation, then we begin to question in the mirror why we have this on our agenda and why this is so passionate and connected to me. And it's connected to you and it's important to you because it's been important to you by whomever your creator is. And so it's like, however you decide to be compliant and responsible to that charge, you would be more successful in following that charge. So it's like looking at it from that perspective, like you, again, recognizing your piece to the puzzle, but be unapologetic. And if somebody has an agenda that complements what you do, then just be cautious, but it's like that's the part, that's the challenge, that's the issue, that's where our community breaks down, is that we have to enter situations being cautious when we should really be able to enter them as family and just know that my part of the puzzle is going to be respected and then I could just move forward. And that becomes, where the breaking ground, the jealousy, the things that society directing the agenda tells us that we could do something different.
Yeah, that human side of of us that allows for jealousy to creep in when other people who look like us have good ideas to move us forward. That that animosity that we have built up from, I mean, whatever you may have going on in your life, whatever may have happened to you in the past, and we
Mm-hmm.
dump it on the people who are around us, and not knowing and understanding that that jealousy is going to keep us stagnant.
Right.
That hate is going to keep us in the same place, if not move us backwards. You know what I'm
And
saying? It's
jealousy is
going
the
to keep,
biggest challenge. I'm sorry.
no, it's going to keep us to where we keep allowing for outside people to put their narrative and their agenda on us instead
Mm-hmm.
of us, because we're in our own way. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? You hear we are our own worst enemy, because people who are in those positions, they don't want to lose them. They're threatened. I mean, I've been in positions like that where somebody was entrenched in a company for so long and they're stagnant, they're complacent, they're not moving the company forward, they're not moving the community forward, and you come with good
Mm-hmm.
ideas and they shooting it down at every turn.
Yes.
You know,
And if you're that person that's bringing the ideas and the new change of thought with the new energy, and you keep getting shot down, either you're going to make a choice of, okay, well, maybe it wasn't valuable because you regarded this individual or group of individuals that you've presented it to as being elite and having all of the answers. And so you'll say, okay, well, maybe I need to go back to the script and rewrite it. And that may be possible, but it's like you can't give up on you, because you are your best advocate and you know what's important to not only you, but to the community in which you serve. And, thanking Charlotte for, passing on through and jumping in the comments. But I know that she rolls up her sleeves in this community every, single day. And earning that respect and being available to people with her talents that she brings to the community, we need her spirit times a million. I mean, you know, we do it too, and there's other people in the conversation that does it as well. But I just wanted to acknowledge her presence and the contributions of her comments that she's sharing. But then also, it matches that puzzle piece. Like she knows what her niche is, and how I understand and receive her is that she says, "Okay, this is not my niche. Who in the community is already doing the work?" And they're already doing the work, and she's like, okay, let me link up side by side and become a collaborative partner, and that makes it work so much better. But yet it's still that community cultural stuff that gets in the way. You know, why her, why this, why that, as opposed to just saying, okay, this is a collaborative step side by side instead of one person being over the other.
Yeah, a lot of times too is when those people get up in those positions, there's no more like they think because they have this position, and this is what a boss is versus a leader, and we just had a conversation about that and taught a class about it, because leaders are able to see what it is that you are great at and you are good at and put you in those positions to succeed. You know, a boss is different. A boss is just going to tell you do it regardless.
Right. And because I said so.
Yes, because I said so, because I'm the boss, because I may be writing a check or like we just said, or just minimize what you do bring to the table and keep themselves up on the pedestal. And my name is Delrico, sweetie. I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
Yes. And he has Infinite Mind and Body, which is a resource that should be added to your collaborative, Charlotte, for sure.
Yeah, mentor, counselor, work with young people, young adults, that kind of thing. So that's what Infinite Mind and Body is. But we when we have somebody who is just a boss, they want to take credit. You know, they want to dish blame. A good leader is able to put people in position to succeed, and we all come to this pot together. There's no, you may be good at one thing and this person's good at, so we all come into the pot and throwing your ingredients into this thing, and we gonna make this meal like Queen April said, like Queen April's oxtail dish. We gonna put all these ingredients in, and we gonna make the meal. We gonna take our time with it. It ain't gonna be rushed. We're not throwing it in the microwave. So we cultivating this, and that's what good leaders do. That's what good people do. You have people who are bosses, and a lot of time, I don't know where that term came from, but it has a lot of authority to it. So it seems like a word like a master, where it comes from a place of, for lack of a better term, slavery, where you're just the overseer. I mean, that's where officer comes from, where you're just the overseer of people. And we can't operate like that. We operate in a circle, not in straight lines like they put you in the classrooms as you as a kid and you was in college. No, we operate in a circle, and we bounce ideas through and off of each other.
Right.
And that's what we need to get back to. And I mean, we're lucky because we have this platform, Chocolate Crowns, and there's a lot of smart, intelligent people who come in here and drop comments and knowledge, which we appreciate so much. So I think when we get back to that, when we get back to just us, instead of looking outside of us, man. You've already been downloaded with the answers, with through your DNA, through your ancestors. You've been downloaded, so we need to get back on that and rehash that and bring that out.
And when you continue with the word download, I always like to peel something back. if we go with downloading, you think about how your computer downloads a new program, it searches for viruses, it searches for compatibility, it searches to like edit and remove what is working, what's not working, give you the update. Like, we have to think of ourselves as constantly needing to revise the standards to what we accept, because every moment of your life is shaping your future. And so like the decisions that you make, do you accept this download, or do you need to make some edits and changes, or do you realize that you might need, I'm gonna just really go into all these metaphors, do you need an antibiotic to take care of the virus that is driving focus of your attention, that's taking you off of what your agenda and what your narrative to the conversation should really be? And who are you elevating? Are you elevating yourself, or are you elevating what you've been told to elevate, without doing any personal research on the validation on why you choose to practice your religious beliefs the way that you do, or why you choose to have your morning routine the way that you do, or why you eat the foods that you eat? And some of them may not be serving your health and your body and your mind and your energy well. Like, somebody told you to do that, but you never took the opportunity to step back and say, what is the value? Why am I doing this? Do I need an antibiotic to kind of cleanse my system and my mind so that I can say, what is my clear view of where it is I'm trying to go?
Listen, that's a good why. You know, and before early in the conversation, we asked why based on playing victim mode. Why is it this way?
Yeah.
Why does it happen for them? But that's a good why. When we asking ourselves, when we stripping ourselves back to the rudimentary, to ask ourselves, why do I eat like this? Why do I drink like this? Why do I think like this?
Daryl, you can't be late. You gotta be here at 8:00. That's what you tell people on Friday nights.
You know why is it when we do that, when we strip ourselves back to the beginning, you know, you get to, and a lot of times, I don't know if adults in your life are capable and comfortable of having that conversation. Like, why did you feed us this?
Right.
Why did we drink this? Why did we learn this way? Why did we? And no matter what the answer is, now you have an answer. Mm-hmm. So you can move accordingly. Mm-hmm. It's not about saying why and then chastising or bashing somebody, but it's about trying to learn myself, because now I want to take control of my own narrative. So I'm trying to strip it back to the beginning to understand why I ate the way I did, drank the way I did, thought the way I did, why I went to sleep at a certain time. Why did I have to get up this time? You might not have had a car, so you had to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning to go catch the bus out in the cold. You know what I'm saying? Right. Pittsburgh and Chicago and Philly, right. It's cold in the morning.
You know, very cold.
Certain things dictate the way you move. So we need to just ask ourselves why, and right. and ask it from a point of trying to move yourself forward, move your community forward, move this whole world forward. Mm-hmm. But we can't do it if we don't start with, like Michael said, the man in the mirror. If you don't start there with everything, there's going to be some foundational things that happen that you're not even going to know about. Your foundation is falling apart and you don't even know why, because mm-hmm. you didn't go back far enough to ask pertinent questions. Now, Queen, we appreciate you checking in. Definitely appreciate you. Every Sunday, 8 p.m. Please join us. Please join us every Sunday, 8 p.m. We appreciate your feedback. What's up, D? Appreciate you checking in, Swanee. I hope you're still there.
Who you hope is still here?
Say that one more time.
I said, who do you hope is still here?
Oh, my brother Swanee.
Oh yeah, Swanee G. But can you I guess restate what you mean in talking about the community? Daryl said he's late to the party. You know how he is about people being late on other situations. But he said, what do you mean when you're talking about like the community? Thanks so much for adding us to your schedule, Charlotte. That's very much
Well,
appreciated. And feel free to share as well.
Yeah, well, I'm using community. I don't know if it's going to answer Dee's question. I'm really talking about ourself, but in the midst of community, trying to move community forward by moving yourself forward first. So I don't know if that's where you jumped in at. But it's more of just looking at yourself, D, and trying to rewrite your narrative to be better for your community, to be more, to add more to your community to move it forward. You want to have and I'll rewind back to what we said about Miss April's platter. You want to have as many ingredients as possible, but you may not be the one that bring all the ingredients. Other people going, this is a I don't even know what kind. This is a family function. This is a party in the summer. This is a barbecue. So you asking everybody to bring something. We could collab on that.
That's your part of the puzzle.
Yeah, but people don't know themselves enough to say, well, this is what I could bring to the party. This is what I could bring to a seminar that moves our people forward. They don't know enough about themselves. They know they have a job. They know they may work at this specific, but they don't know enough about themselves to say, no matter what, no matter stress, no matter good times, no matter what, I can consistently bring this to the table. A lot of people don't do that. What it is I want to work and I want to be a firefighter, but you don't have the capability of dealing with everything that comes with being a firefighter, but you want to do it. You know what I'm saying? And we don't look at ourselves enough to say, this is what I'm really good at. This is what I'm great at. And move my agenda and my narrative towards that. You know what I'm saying? We do it from a way of saying, well, I want money, so I'm going out to get the best job. And then you so stressed out, that job has flipped you inside out.
Because you may not have the capacity or the skill level to do that. And it's like you just think that it's something easy because of the dollar amount connected to it. But if you can't continue to maintain productivity because it's not your space of excellence, then you're not only wasting your time and harming probably those that you serve and your family, but you're wasting the time of the organization as well, because you're not helping them build their capacity. And everybody has a part as long as you are within that system working. And it's like your part is important, it's essential. You might even think that the part that you have been assigned is not important, but everybody's voice matters. And so like even in the workforce development workshops that we're doing now around the boss versus the leader, like, helping people really navigate what their true strengths are so that they can decide and make a clear view agenda on what steps they need to take moving forward, other than the nuggets that we're going to pour into them in the weeks that we work with them.
Yeah. And then, also what I've learned is on the flip side of it, a lot of us, because of where we've grown up in the society we've grown up. What's up, brother Mark? Appreciate you checking in. We put a ceiling on our own self. And I'm not going to go too in depth until we have our next class with the people we working with, but sometimes we put ceilings on our own selves and not realizing, like I said before, that all the greatness is already in you. It's up to you to find a way to pull it out somehow, some way. And we can't allow society standards, our pride, our ego, and these kind of things to get in the way and have this ceiling where we just reaching right there when we should be shooting for the stars. And a lot of times we are our own way. So I know I'm going to have a conversation with the class next time. And listen, man, nobody's saying you can't be the CEO of a Fortune 500 company. You know what I'm saying? Like you can, and you got to believe it. Part of this is just downloading confidence in people.
Right.
Like whatever it is your gift is from the creator, you need to cultivate that, because that's how you gonna make CEO of that company. That's how you gonna make being a leader and the boss of your company.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because you're not in your own way. Um, and I think we need to, and I know you, so we're empowering people just to believe that, just to
Right.
know that no matter what's going on around you, no matter the madness that you may see on TV, social media, you may have going on in your life,
Mm-hmm.
whatever's in you is in you, and we need to pull it out because that's the way you're going to go ahead and move yourself forward, which ultimately can move us as a people and the culture and the community forward.
Right. And we got to go to the core of the roots to be able to always know that that's the destination, or it could be the foundation. So it may not always be the destination, but it's always going to be the foundation that you set your values and your beliefs on. And you have to really be intentional on what is in your playbook. That's kind of been some terminology I've been using lately, working with like couples and so forth like that. Like, what is your playbook? Like, you may have this vision or view of what your role was in your relationship, but you're running them plays and you expecting somebody to come in as quarterback under the crisis mode, and they didn't even know what the play was. And it's like, you can't do that and have a successful coordinated plan for every piece of the puzzle to work out well. So it's like you have to begin to communicate your part of the commitment and your part of moving forward so that you can be able to enable that success and those skills that they need to really ask the questions and feel comfortable, because there's no question that is a wrong question. And it's like the only way to move forward is to be like, right or wrong, weak or strong. Like, you got to know that, all right, the only way I'm going to get better is if I interrogate and ask and do some discovery to get this extra knowledge.
And look, like you just said, when you're talking to your couples and you in your therapy session, it's your team. You the quarterback of your team. You the point guard of your team. But not only are you the point guard or the quarterback, you the wide receiver. You the running back, you the safety, you every position on your team. You can't give positions up on your team because you'll start relying on other people and they can't do what you can do. Now when you get in a position to say, I'm the quarterback of my team, but I could point Mark. I could point Mark that way. I could point Swanee that way. You know what I'm saying? I could point Miss April that way because I know my team, but I know myself. And I know where I may not be as good as Mark, Swanee, Miss April, Miss Queen Charlotte. So as a leader of my own team, as the quarterback of my own team, which everybody out there, you the quarterback of your own team, you running this, you are the CEO, you the boss, you the leader. You got to just take control of that. You got to be the one to put people in the position you want them to be in so you can succeed, because you can't go everywhere. Head coaches get other assistants that's going to help them do the job that's needed to be done. And if you're not aligned with that, a lot of times when you get hired, it's because those coaches know what that head coach is about, because you're very similar to that person. You're cut from that same cloth. You're on that same line and journey. So it's beneficial because you're still on your own agenda. Even though you're helping somebody else, you're still building your resume. You still adding ingredients to your meal. And I think we need to do more of that. Just grab and hold of more of what's yours instead of giving it away and allowing other people to drive your car and dictate your narrative and lead you to somewhere where they want to go, but you ain't want to go there. And they telling you, no, this is just a shortcut to get where we want to go. But then you get to where they want to be, and you like, I don't even know how to get back to where I wanted to go.
Because the journey of the bumps and the bruises and the pain and the hard moments, the things that make you like take a second look at what you've done and what you're intending to do, that's a part of the journey for your success. Like, it's not going to be smooth. Like, even business owners and entrepreneurs that try to make it look like they only have wins, they need to celebrate the times when it's not so much of a win as well, because that's a part of the journey that someone on the outside considering coming into that journey, they need to know about those moments too, because otherwise they're getting a false reality with a filter around what entrepreneurship really, really looks like, what being a business owner really, really looks like. And we're really sheltered as W-2 employees on some of those struggles because we're just coming in and building somebody else's brand. But when you realize that your agenda is important and that you are, navigating it in whatever space independently, your narrative is constantly going to be challenged, as well as your sustainability of that, because it's something that is outside of the norm and you're doing it in your own capacity to the way that you feel is best.
Listen, you hit the nail on the head. This this journey is not squeaky clean. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of losing on the journey. It's a lot of, I won't even say losing. It's a lot of getting knocked down on the journey.
Mm-hmm.
But with being knocked down, there's a lot of learning from it.
Right.
And it makes the win, the championship, and the wins and the growth, it makes it that much better. It makes it interesting.
Right.
If you can handle adversity, if you can handle consequences, if you can handle certain things that come with any journey that we on, then you'll look at the losses differently.
Mm-hmm.
You'll handle them differently. You'll look at them from a point or a perspective of saying, I know I just got knocked down, but I could grow from that and I could learn from that.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what I learned, and this is what I put in play now, so that doesn't happen again in the future. And
right,
you may fall again on that same one because that you didn't put in the right, pieces in play that time. But you just learning. You're gonna get up. You're gonna dust yourself off, and you're gonna keep moving.
And the fact that you tried is a win.
That's the fun part of it. Like you said when you first got on here, you breathing
on schedule.
You breathing, so you hear. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Now your blood flowing. You know what I'm saying? Now you're going, and now people in the chat room, and now they need you, and you feeding off of that. This is how this go, man. This is, and in the beginning, you had to go ahead and maybe lie to yourself a little bit, because we all been there. We all, man, listen, Chocolate Crown. But you know what? Somebody from Chocolate Crown is going to give me energy. Mm-hmm. Somebody from Chocolate Crown, I'm going to give a nugget or two, and it's going to be reciprocal. And we're going to go back and forth and build. And now I don't even really remember that. I didn't even have the energy to start this.
You know, or that my vibration was low.
We already out of. I'm sorry.
I was just saying, or that my vibration was low, like it,
And you, like I've told you in the past, you're genuinely a good person. So good things going to happen for good people. And so good people with good energy came into the chat.
Right.
Everybody up there, I know them people. And then your eyes lit up when Charlotte jumped on
and blush.
It was good folks, and she came with a book and a story, and so it changed the whole vibration. And that's what we got to do as well. We sometimes that favorite cousin that we got, your favorite best friend, they vibration, y'all not vibrating the same anymore, and nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it. There's people I don't talk to now, and we was great friends, and we not on the same path, but I learned from them. You know what I'm saying? Right. I've incorporated and added things that they taught me along my journey, and I'm thankful. And I'm proud of everybody that I met. But we just don't vibrate on the same wavelength no more, and ain't nothing wrong with it. You know what I'm saying? I don't wish nothing but great things for everybody.
Right.
So that when you great, the community great, it's all it's going to affect me as well. You know what I'm saying? When there's better people out here and there's a lot of us, kind of rubs off on everybody, man. Like I was just holding a conversation about Fight the Power was on, and back then when it was played, it resonated at a level where this the way that this system is set up, they don't want us fighting the powers to be. So that had to get off the radio, or they would keep running that.
Yeah, because we were aligning on that song. Like we were growing and building off of that song. So anytime that we do that, they're like, oh, we gotta
listen. I remember walking around with the medallions and the X hats and African stuff. Like we were getting on a similar wavelength.
And the big radio.
Hip hop, that's part of why the West Coast and allowing that entity of just what was going on in the streets of LA and the way that they told it was a straight flip of what was being said on the East Coast at that time. It was unity, it was black power, but then they over there, it was F the police and bees ain't this, and it was very sexual, and you know what I'm saying? So we didn't control it, man. So somebody else controlled it and allowed that to happen for us when we was on a path of raising the frequency and the vibration and the levels of our people. Granted, there was always, bad music. I don't want to say bad, or music that
didn't fit everybody. Right.
But when we were controlling that narrative, we were dangerous. We were scary to the powers to be. You know what I'm saying? And then when we get back on the F women and killing each other, and now we not fighting the powers to be. Now we back to killing ourselves and harming our own communities and that kind of thing.
Right. So Swanee is saying success is when we fall, get up, fall again, and get up again, and remove the things that sometimes people who kept tripping us. Absolutely. Because sometimes what is tripping you or distracting you can be the people who you care about and thought that they would have you back 1,000,000%, but yet they need you at the level that they have you at now. So if you are excelling to do something opposite and you won't be available to them, then they need to create a disruption to disrupt that whole process, which you like, okay, why would they do that? But everybody has a piece of the puzzle. All pieces in the puzzle are not beneficial. So it's like you gotta learn and weed through that get up, fall again, get up, fall again. You end up learning and seeing people's true colors. And they'll wear a mask or filter for a period of time, but eventually when you take a step back, you can see their true intentions. And it's like, okay, my agenda is being interrupted and disrupted by XYZ. So therefore I need to do something different.
And listen, when we because Brother Swan, King Swanee hit it on great point. But when we get to where we really, really are changing things, after we trip and fall, we turn around and pick up whatever is in the way and move it out the way for the next people coming. That's when we really, like, we physically, like, for instance, we all been in cars and we seen the debris in the street or whatever it was that got everybody going around it. And you in Philly, you know how that go.
Right.
But 40 cars just go around, but nobody gets out the car to actually stop the car and just throw it on the side so that everybody is cool after that. That's when we know we really doing something as people. When the same things that obstructed us, we getting out the car and moving it for the people behind us. Like, that's when we know, okay, yeah, we caring about other people. You know what I'm saying? Like, you walking down the street and you see the whole block is clean, but you got a whole bag that you just threw on the street. Like, come on, man. Like, it's the smallest things that.
More steps.
trash can a couple more steps away, man. And
Steps.
you know, some older woman then came out of the house and cleaned their block up, and they done took pride in where they living, but you don't care because your block is awful. And I can see how you dress, you don't care about nothing. I can see how you talk, you don't. So we have to make that vibrating on a higher frequency like a contagious thing, and start calling each other out on certain things that, you know, I mean, because I've had conversations and there's some men that won't hold punches with me, and it's refreshing because then I get a different look at it. Somebody else could see it, and then like some, you know, people that I love, that I admire and that kind of thing, they like, yeah, this, that, and the third. And when we as people could do that, that's when we, you know, we definitely doing something that's going to help our communities.
Awesome. So when we come to writing our agenda, do we want to touch on the family component?
Parents who strongly encourage children to live dreams that they could not do. Does this have value? Does it help or hurt? All right, so from my perspective, like, let's just say you have a family full of lawyers, and the child is being raised to become a lawyer. And granted, it's a good profession, and they may ultimately become successful and make money. But is that what that child wanted to do? So then it becomes resentful when they get older. Like, I lived my whole life doing what you wanted me to do. Instead of us finding out what this child is really good at, instead of finding out what this child's gifts are. And I understand because we're in a monetary society. So people who have money, they want their children to be in the same position. People who don't have money want to have money. So we do things that are dictated by.
But when they get the money, they don't do it well. The people who don't have money, when they get it, they're at the amusement park and they don't do it well. Like, they don't do the wealth building conversations or wealth building deposits or the education of how they can make this $100 different than the last $100. They just look at, I got $100. What can I spend it on right now?
Yeah, I mean, we know how it goes. Money burn a hole in your pocket. You never had it. You want to be able to do something that you've never done before. I get that as well. But as parents, and I always say there's no rule book on parenting, man. You loving and caring, but you can't, I guess, drop all of what you couldn't do on your children. Now, if you empowering them because this is what you were good at, and these are the things that you see in your child, yes, we're going to empower the kids, yes, to be great. That's dope. But because there's something that you couldn't do and you're going to live it out through your child, that definitely is going to hurt the child in the long run. Be resentful. Now you done put this child through all these years of whatever it is you've done. They don't want to do that. Now they starting from ground zero at whatever it is they trying to now do to figure out who they are. Instead of empowering them, having them learn who they are, learning about who they are, so they can do it, so they can get on their own journey, and not judging them, but helping them with the resources that you have acquired. Because in the long run, it's the individual's journey. Everybody's journey is their own journey. So, you know, I speak like that because being a former athlete and just knowing parents who have forced their children to get involved in these sports because they did it, and you know, I really don't like that. I don't think we should be forcing anything on anybody, but if we just going to expose them to it, like for instance, on IG, Mark is on IG, and Mark loved football. Mark was great at football. Earned a scholarship, played at a high level. He introduced it to his son, and his son played it for a few years and was like, "This ain't me." And it was never a question with my brother about removing his son from that, because this isn't checkers or chess. This is a sport where people really getting hurt and paralyzed and injured and CTEs, and we got parents force feeding their children into this. And
right,
you know, that's, you know, a lot of times it's not beneficial in the long run. It may be beneficial because it's fulfilling what you want it to fulfill, but it's not beneficial to the young person that is actually in it and has to go through this, and they don't want to go through this.
right. And their voice matters. If you don't listen to their voice, then you question. Like, I hear feedback. Then you question the ability of, like, why do they feel anxious? Why are they so sad? Why do they think of harming themselves, or are they rebelling against me? Like, you begin to question their respect of authority, and they're not rebelling, they're not questioning your respect of authority, but you're challenging theirs, and they do have their own personality. I'm not suggesting that they should stand up to the adults caring for them, but that the adults should be mindful to just have an open-ended conversation of, what are you interested in and how do you want me to support you, as opposed to, you about to be the best athlete, ice skater, tennis player, whatever that ever was.
And every parent thinks that my son or my daughter is going to be the greatest to ever pick this sport up. Like,
and then they end up landing in my office and having a different conversation of, can you help me talk to my parents that I'm not interested in X? But I know that when I tell them that it's going to cause a disagreement, an argument, or, you know, something like major. And it's like, why would you make yourself unapproachable to your children when you all do reciprocity to the growth and the wealth of each other through everything that you do?
Listen, and Netflix has Tiger showing right now, and it's a documentary on Tiger Woods. And this part of the conversation that we have is very valid to, you know, that documentary, because Tiger Woods was groomed to be the greatest golfer from the time he was 1 year old. And he still has some resentment towards his father. He couldn't even come to his father. He wanted to play a different sport and date girls. And so what happened was, when he got successful and got all that money, because let's just say they weren't poor, but he now has access to unlimited amounts of wealth. And he couldn't control it. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're human. I mean, if you gave me $1 billion right now and said, check back in 500 days, there's going to be some days that I did some stuff that I wasn't proud of. I mean, you gave me $1 billion. I could go to the moon right now.
Right.
So we as humans, we're going to do some things that we're probably not proud of, because if you broke, you probably done some things you ain't proud of. Now you got access. And if you was a cornball like Tiger and you got access, I mean, it's going to eat you. You know, he now able to run with Michael Jordans and Charles Barkley's in Vegas. And I mean, it's very telling, because one time when he first started going to Vegas, he was happy, go lucky, smile. By the time golf and all of this social media and this lifestyle got to him, and he was going back to Vegas, he had aged so much. He looked like, I'm just going because I can. Like, this life is really eating me inside out. And a lot of times money, a lot of times wealth, fame, things of that nature. When you have power, it'll reveal some things that you don't want revealed. And that's like they say, money's not the root of evil. It's the people that got it. It's
Mm-hmm.
the it's the lower self that does the awful things with the money. And we could just say, well, it's the money. Nah, there's people out here
It's
who
your
got money
choices
who
and
ain't doing
decisions.
that.
Right. It's the choices and decisions that you've done with this new resource that you have acquired.
And listen, we all want it. I started the show talking about that $1 billion that was just won in
In
chocolate
Michigan.
crowns. Chocolate crowns will be booming if Flex won for the billion. We gonna shoot chocolate crowns from Jupiter. Like you give me a billion. So like really, all I'm saying is like let's just really just know who we are, because if Tiger would have really been able to do some more studying about himself and who he was, and peel back the layers and be able to learn himself before being given millions and millions of dollars, he probably would have been able to handle it a lot better. Like most of us. I mean, I was in sports and I seen people sign $1 million contracts,
Mm-hmm.
and then they on the news a few weeks later because it just exposed who they was and that kind of thing. So when we peeling back these layers, we're gonna ask real questions to the people around us, to parents, to older siblings, to younger siblings. We're gonna ask real questions so we can better ourselves. That's what it's all about.
Mm-hmm. So, we've talked about it globally in regards to being responsible and accountable to your narrative that is in the community, but then we also pared it down to you as an individual and your contribution being a boss versus a leader or business owner, and W-2 versus, entrepreneurship. And then the perspective from the family, how the family builds and grows from you as well. So it's like, I think, um, it's just important, like you always share, that the journey has multiple steps. I guess I share it too. The journey has multiple steps, but we have to be mindful that everybody's not ready to hear how we choose to activate our strength. And knowing that jealousy is real, and jealousy is what media plays on to keep us separate and to keep us in our place, so to speak. And if you allow yourself to feed into it, you begin to participate. You be, in the conversation of self-sabotaging what the universe has poured into you to do successfully.
Man, look, I can't say it any better than that. You know what I'm saying? I could talk, but I can't say it better than that. You know what I'm saying, Queen? It's about as good as you can say it, man.
Right.
So when you
And
rewrite
whether it's a
narratives,
25-piece puzzle or a 1,000-piece puzzle, you might need all the players the opposite of your piece, but vet them differently.
listen, just know you, find out more about you, because I'm still learning me, finding out certain things, on this journey. Finding out things about myself through my son. Um, so we can learn from, they don't have to be the elders. They could be the young people. They could be your
Right,
siblings. They
right.
could be some of your friends, man. People who won't hold punches, who will be honest with you, and in an honest way that you can, digest it, and then, put in some real work behind it. So that's what it's all about, man. Um, Chocolate Crown. I'm always appreciative of this platform, uh, because when you talk, I get to listen a lot and learn. And like you said, when we do this community-based training, teaching, um, I get to learn from you as well. So I
Hmm.
understand why. people, comment and say the things that they say. Well said. They were in class like preach. That was dope, man. So I know how intelligent you are. I know how caring you are for people, and it's real, man. And people can really feel it, and they see it, and it's authentic, man. And we all appreciate you, Queen, man. So, all the people who check in on Chocolate Crown, I ain't no hater. I have no problem letting the Queen shine. You know what I'm saying? Like shine bright like diamonds. You got no problem letting you shine bright like diamonds, because that's what it's about, man. When you shining and and it's bright, it illuminates everything, so everybody get to shine. So everybody don't say it, but we appreciate the info. We appreciate the knowledge. We appreciate the patience. So listen, you dope. So we are thankful that you are on Chocolate Crowns as one half of Chocolate Crowns. Also, if people didn't see, go check out Chocolate Crowns and start seeing little motivational videos put up. I put one up earlier today. And if you see it, just comment, man.
The best gift you could give to a video or something that you see that somebody posts, even if you believe it doesn't resonate with you, is to comment and share. Because one of the systems that goes against us is social media wants to make sure that we're engaging. And if they don't see engagement from something that's put up, then they begin to hide that post. And, you as the person that posted something believes that it's still being visible when they've gone in the background and said, well, don't nobody want to see this because didn't nobody engage. And then, nobody is there. So even if it doesn't resonate, somebody putting up whatever it is related to them empowering other people, just share it. Make a comment, because then that puts it back into the loop of things.
Yeah, listen, man. We got, especially if it's Black businesses and things of that nature, man. Keep people on people's mind, man. Like you said, this media cycle is fast. It's continuous, man. And there's people constantly posting, so you could get lost in the shuffle. So don't let our Black businesses, don't let our important conversations just go to the wayside, man. Let's go ahead and keep it on the forefront of everybody's mind, man, so that they don't forget about it, man. Because we know how this media cycle goes. It'll be here on Monday and go on Monday night. So.
Right. If it make it to the night.
We're going. Yeah. Family preservation group, community. When we rebuild a house, we are rebuilding a home. Community violence support resource group, Infinite Mind and Body with Butterfly Love, facilitating Monday. Listen, you can register. Registration is free. Right?
It is. It's a grant funded program.
Am I correct, or am I lying to the people?
You're not lying to the people. It's free for them to attend.
Registration is free.
And we start back tomorrow, and it's every other week. So if you have, or somebody who has been impacted by gun violence, and need just the support and resource and conversation to someplace to kind of let it out and heal as you grow one conversation at a time, register and join. Like it's posted on the Chocolate Crown page. It's posted on Butterfly Love, and I believe it's posted on our personal profiles as well. So if you just follow that link, I could post it again tonight. And register. That's all it takes is to register. You get the Zoom link to participate. It's from 7 to 8:30 tomorrow night. But we send out the communication by 4. So if you know somebody and they want to be a part of it, we send out the email and the link at 4:00.
Listen, don't Eastern let your pride and ego. If you know somebody who needs a safe space to listen, to learn, to maybe even give up some info, this is the place for you. If you've been affected by violence in the community in any way, it's free to register. Check it out, man. It's a dope space. We've been off for a few weeks, and there's people who really mad that we've been off for a few weeks. So we going back. It's tomorrow at 7:30, correct?
Tomorrow at 7:00, 7 to 8:30.
7:00. See, I'd have been half an hour late. Terrible.
Yeah, that is terrible, considering all this
tomorrow.
related.
If you know anybody affected, if you know anybody affected by violence in the community, have them register. Go to Butterfly Love. Just follow the link.
And all your registration is just your name and your information and how you're connected to gun violence or what you will want to learn more about. So it's not a million questions. I think it's maybe 10. I know when you say registration, you say a link. People are like, oh my God, I don't feel like doing that. It's 10 questions. And just so that we can guide and make sure that each conversation is supporting you in some particular way.
Nene Fletcher, appreciate you, little set. That's my beautiful little sister, boy. Love it. My goal for this new year and beyond is healing. Our people are in need of it for sure. Mental health is real.
Mental health is definitely real.
Mental health is real. That's what Mary is. That's her specialty. So, if you have any questions, man, hit her on any of these platforms, man, because she know all about it. Flipped it inside out, put it back together. So.
In my sleep sometimes.
Yeah. We in it, man. Everybody take their little piece, man. And this whole puzzle, this whole pie be put together sooner than you even could imagine, man. Everybody take their little slice. And like Bill Belichick would say, do your job. If you don't know who Bill Belichick is, it's okay. But do your job. Just do your job. That's it, man. So chocolate crowns. Kings and queens, we want to thank you again. We appreciate you.
I want to say if there's anybody that's catching us now or on the replay and you are a business owner and you want to be highlighted, we are planning a show very soon. About to sneeze. Excuse me. We are planning a show very soon that highlights the business owners that come and join our conversation, but also want a highlight. So if you want to come on this platform, just message whoever it is that connects you to this conversation. And when we schedule it, we'll be in contact. So please, just let us know. We don't know who you are until you tell us, but we want to elevate every business owner that is represented.
Listen, that's what we're here for. We're going to use the platform, so we're going to use it to promote you, man. So put your business in the comments. You can, direct message us, and we'll have it up on the screen as one of the, pop-ups on the screen.
But then have you come in. We have a show that we're planning where they're going to come in and, be able to tell people about it.
Yeah, and join the conversation, man. So that's what it's all about, man. So if you're a business owner, hit us up with the direct message because we love to promote and love to get your name out there. Only Swanee, man. Only Swan, man. Eat a gyro, man. Now, every once in a while, you all right, Swan, man. You all right every once in a while. It's not every day with all that cheese and bread, Swan. But if you feel like, because the pandemic is still out here and you feel like your immune system is under attack, holla at me. I got the sea moss, I got the lemon sea moss, I got the banana sea moss, and I got strawberry sea moss. So holla at me and we get it to you. It's good for the immune system, good for everything, blood. It's good for energy, all the minerals. So if you if you want some help with your immune system, holla at me. And episode 23, man, rewriting your narrative, reclaiming your narrative, and writing your own story, grabbing your own pen and pencil, so you can start to heal and heal yourself instead of going outside and getting other people's story, and they writing their story through you. So we're gonna rewrite our own story. So that's what this is about, reclaiming your narrative. So listen, Chocolate Crown episode 23, every Sunday, 8 p.m. We look forward to these times to share and listen and learn. You know, tell a friend to tell two more friends. Sunday, 8 p.m. IG, Relationship Flows, Chocolate Crown, Facebook,
And
Larry.
YouTube.
Say that again. And YouTube. I always forget the tube. I can't forget. And that's my favorite. My favorite thing is YouTube. But yeah, we want to thank y'all. Appreciate y'all. Until next time, be safe. Keep fighting a good fight. Queen, you do the same thing. You keep fighting a good fight.
You
And
as
stay
well, Queen.
blessed.
You have a great week as well. And thank you for your voice and your contributions always to the conversation, as people be wanting to know who you is and what you got, who you represent. Right?
If you got a topic you want to hear in the next week or two, just DM us and let us know, and we'll see if we get that thing happening. But again, thank you.
And
Love
I know
you.
when I have my
Hope.
girdle next, I'm gonna take a picture so I can share it with Swanee.
Boy, you crazy, man.
So y'all have a great week. Thank you for tuning and rocking it out with us, either live with us now or on the replay. We appreciate you. Much love, hugs, and most importantly, stay motivated and stay safe out there. All right. He says peace.
Peace.